woman calls me up on the phone, right, on the radio, and I love doing the radio responses. I love, like, real fast, being able to help people. So this woman calls up and she goes, Mr. Robbins, she goes, I've tried everything. I'm so upset. I'm depressed all the time. I've been depressed now for 7 years. I said, gosh, how have you accomplished that? She goes, what? I said, how have you accomplished that? I mean, that's pretty amazing. I said, are you depressed even when you sleep? She goes, when I sleep? What I'm doing is breaking her what? You remember? Pattern, interrupting her pattern. That's all you got to do. If you respond to people and go, oh man, I'm sorry you feel that way, and that's not enough. Sometimes you got to interrupt the pattern, tease them, and be loving, but tease them. Because if you just go, oh, it's okay, they're getting a lot of feedback. They're being rewarded for feeling bad. Is that true? So you got to be careful. You got to be loving, but you got to be fun and loving. So that would be my response. A loving, fun-loving response. An outrageously fun, loving response. That'll break their pattern. Do something they don't expect. So I said, well, what's the challenge? You go, well, it's because my boyfriend left me 7 years ago. He left me, he took my whole life. I said, he took your whole life? He goes, yeah, I gave him everything. I said, everything? You kept your voice, I hear. So, well, you know, he gave me everything. My whole life's run forever. Why is she in pain? That's right. She feels tremendous depression, actually, because she's been angry, because she really felt what? Hurt, because she has a sense of what? Are there people who end a relationship and don't feel a sense of loss? Yes or no? Yes, because you have to tell yourself it's a loss. You have to communicate it's a loss. How many found that in the past what you thought was a loss was actually your gain? But when you thought it was a loss, how did you feel? Hurt. And it may not have been a loss of them, it was a loss of your own self-esteem. Well, they left me, they must not have loved me, I wasn't good enough. You know, I'm not good enough, the loss of your own self-esteem, but you do that to yourself too. It's just not true. It's the meaning you made up in your head. We're making all this crap up in our head, and it's not true. You gotta be careful about the meaning you label things. You gotta take control of that process. So someone's going, well, he left me, that's why my whole life is over. The reason she's upset, the reason she's this angry, is not that she feels a loss, but she's labeled that loss. Because of that, my whole life is over. How would you feel if your whole life was over? A bit depressed? You better believe it. So I said, look, bottom line is, I said, ma'am, you gotta change your state. The state you're in right now, you're gonna keep thinking your life's over. You gotta change your state. She goes, yeah, well, I've tried. I said, what have you done? She goes, well, I've taken drugs. I said, well, you know, what else have you done? I've seen my therapist for years now. I've done this. I said, you know, stop. I started yelling on the phone on the radio, right? I can imagine her face going, what, is he crazy? What's going on? I said, you listen to me right now. You want to change this? You do exactly what I say. When I say now, you put the phone down and you run outside and you just yell 2 words at the top of your lungs over and over again. Next, next, next. As you think about your old boyfriend. At first she was like in a deep trance with no reaction, right? And all of a sudden I heard this chuckling. She's laughing hysterically. Right? She starts to laugh. I said, just yell next. Go out there and look around, see men, go next. As soon as she started laughing, I said, think about your old boyfriend. She starts laughing. Think of your old boyfriend. She's laughing. Think of your old boyfriend. Laughing. Think about your old boyfriend. Pretty soon when she thought of her old boyfriend, guess what she began to do? Laugh. Right? Now, am I belittling the relationship? No. But do you think if she laughs when she thinks about it, she'll be able to deal with it better than if she cries? You better believe it. See, our state affects a lot of the meaning we link to things. When we're stressed, or we can make out the worst situation out of virtually anything, can't we? See, you got to remember, you're the producer of this play. You're the one writing the script of this movie. Now, some of you, though, have like one style of writing called drama. Maybe you ought to try writing a comedy instead. It might be more enjoyable. Some of you have written a love story. My congratulations to you. Some of you have written an adventure story. Some of you have got one garbled story that doesn't even make any sense. Maybe it's time you cleaned up the script, which doesn't mean go back and rewrite it all. It means tear up the old one. Do you have to like go back and rewrite the whole script in order to make it work? Yes or no? Now what you can do is set it aside and move on from here. What a concept. Decide, what do I want now? What happened to my past doesn't mean diddly. What matters is where I'm going. If you're trying to drive in the future using the rear view mirror as your guidance tool, you're gonna crash. Plus, you know what? Your future's gonna look like your past. Pretty scary. Maybe I'd just let go of the past, tear up that script. You don't have to keep playing that same play. Write a new one now.
היי חברים, מה העניינים? אני מקווה שנהנתם מהסרטון הזה. לי קוראים מיכאל ואני מיכאל מלמדו ואני חלק מהצוות של חברת בי, קהילת ההתפתחות האישית בישראל. ומה שאנחנו עושים למעשה, אנחנו מנגישים כל מיני חומרים, אם זה של מנטורים, אם זה סרטוני השראה, וגם הרבה חומרים של טוני רובינס, מנגישים אותם לקהל הישראלי, מתרגמים את הסרטונים, עושים כל מיני עריכות, מוצאים את החומרים באמת הכי טובים שיש, ולמעשה חלק מהפעילות שלנו, אנחנו עושים גם מאסטר מיינדים, סדנאות, קורסים, כל מיני דברים בארץ, ומוציאים משלחות גם לסמינרים של טוני רובינס, מוציאים משלחות ישראליות, מייצרים איזושהי חבילה ישראלית, ואני לא יודע אם אתם צופים בסרטון הזה באיזשהו דף נחיתה, ככה שתוכלו לגלול למטה ולהסתכל ולקרוא כל מיני פרטים על המשלחת, או שאתם צופים בזה ביוטיוב ותוכלו להסתכל בתיאור על כל מיני לינקים למדריכים שאנחנו עושים, לתכנים שאנחנו מתרגמים, וגם לינק לדף נחיתה למשלחת עצמה. אני מזמין אתכם להיכנס ולבחון, אולי גם אתם תיסעו השנה לטוני רובינס. שמח שהייתם איתנו בסרטון הזה וניפגש בסרטונים הבאים.